Hooty hoo, everybody. Welcome to the StabCast.
Oh my god, I was just talking to you guys
Well, keep going now. Now you're screwing it up.
Okay, so we're gonna we had a really good day today. We got some pastries, we got some coffee, we watched Hard Eyes, and then we're gonna go see Final Destination Bloodlines, which will be then we're gonna call it that from now on, which will be the last time that I ever get to see Tony Todd in theaters.
Yeah.
And I'm bringing a tissue box with me. But Daniel, how do you feel about it being 16 years and it coming out? I mean, come on.
Nah.
You didn't record it.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about it being 16 years?
It doesn't feel like it's been that long.
No.
I don't really. It feels like we're getting up there. And what is this? The 6th or the 7th one now?
Oh, it's the 6th. The 5th one. The 4th one was the Final Destination for some odd reason, and then the 5th one was just Final Destination 5. But at the end of the 5th one, you find out that the character survived just to end up on Flight 180.
Yeah.
And then you find out that it's actually 2000, the year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, shnikey. That's not good.
Yeah.
Shnikey. And so, like, I thought that was it. Honestly. Like, they burned whatever. Like, they finished it, I thought. Like, it came full circle for me. But it is Tony Todd's last performance. So I would feel very bad if I did not go to the theaters to see it.
Mm-hmm.
And technically, from what I've heard, it's doing great.
Is it?
It's got a 50 million budget. 15 million to 20 million of that went to Tony Todd's family, medical bills and whatnot. And then they made, and this was only yesterday, guys, that I checked this. Actually, Friday night, I checked this. It had made 5.8 million on the first night. That's not bad.
No, it's all right.
It's all right. I mean, it's not fantastic.
No.
But it's getting a good score. Right now, it's got a 92 critic score, and a 90 critic score from critics like Daniel and I, fans.
Yeah.
We're trying to make this a business and a real thing, and hopefully you guys love us enough to make that happen, but we're realists.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited to see the movie, and I'm excited for what it makes me not want to do activity-wise for the next couple of years, because that's kind of what these movies do. Is ruin.
Oh my god! Did I tell you? Kevin was like, "Oh, let's put a string on a wire on the shower, so we can hang our clothes." No.
Yeah, no. But it makes me hate activities, so. Hopefully, because the last one ruined LASIK for me. Roller coasters was fun after the second one. You and me were on a road trip recently behind a log truck. The third one's the roller coaster, my bad. But
it's so funny too, because when we're behind it, we don't want to say anything.
Yeah.
So pulled in the truck stop center that we pulled in. And Daniel and I both saw it, and we both looked at each other, and we're like, "How did it happen?" And then we just walked inside, and when we came out, it was gone. It's like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, but I'm going in expecting mediocre acting, pretty creative shit, kill wise, and hopefully it's a good time. And
I think it's going to be some great kills, some great gore. I have heard that there's a rumor that they might be putting it back into production, which. Yeah. I think it's ridiculous to add more gore and horror because I guess there's not a lot of blood and guts. But I say if it's not fixed, don't If it's not broke, don't fix it. So
If it's not fixed, don't broke it.
I always mess that up. So, like, we'll see. But we're here to talk about Hard Eyes, not about
Bloodline.
Nation.
Yeah, that'll be next week.
Yeah.
So look forward to that. It'll be a new movie review. This one, Hard Eyes, is directed by Josh Rubin.
Mm-hmm.
It's written by Philip Murphy, Christopher Landon, and Michael Kennedy.
Yes.
Which
Christopher Landon is actually a really good writer. We've seen a lot of his pieces, if you look it up.
We've seen his pieces.
We've seen a lot of his stuff. Okay. We've seen a lot of his stuff.
Get in the shot. Don't worry. $18 million budget, made almost $33 million. So
18?
Yeah.
And a 30?
Yeah, made 32 million on 18 million. So
that's not bad.
Almost doubled, or pretty much doubled, right? And
well, no, that's giving their money back and then being able to have profit after.
Yeah.
Because you gotta remember they spend money on making the movie.
Yeah, marketing and shit.
Yeah.
I think it was a pretty good movie. Just the opening thoughts. I liked it, and I thought Mason Gooding kind of stole the show.
He was so funny.
But rounding out the cast, we have Olivia Holt as Allie McCabe.
Oh, I thought that was Olivia Holt. Okay, sorry.
It's Olivia Holt. We got Mason Gooding as Jay Simmons, a consulting advisor. We have Gigi Zumbato as Monica, who's a very good piece of comic relief in this.
Monica!
Michaela Watkins as Crystal Kane, the boss, who was hilarious as well. We have my boy, speaking of Final Destination, baby, Devin Siwa in this bitch.
Devin Siwa played a cop again.
And he played Hobbs to Jordan Brewster's Jeanne Shaw, which Hobbs and Shaw was a hilarious joke to play on. And I like
the fact that they brought up the movie.
Yeah, well, they had to.
That was great.
Yeah, they
isn't that a movie? Yes, it is a movie.
Yeah, it is a movie. And you had a bunch of other people. Oh, you had Yosin An as David, who's the IT man, who you don't think is a big role, but kind of turns out being one.
Yeah, you find out. So if you haven't watched it, go on Netflix and check it out. But right now, we are going to get into it.
Yeah.
So if you guys don't want spoilers, head on out.
All right. Now it's clear.
Now it's go time.
The dust is cleared. Shaw's the killer.
Don't give it away right away.
You said spoiler alert.
All right. So we start off in like a coffee shop. It's like any given Tuesday or whatever, Monday. And you have this girl that's like really depressed. And she's looking through her phone. You can tell like she's just been broken up with because she just has that face.
Yeah.
And she's looking at pictures and shit. So you can just tell. And then I get a lot of coffee order for this girl, Monica.
Right.
And she like runs up and grabs it and shit. And then they have there's a different order. And the guy, for some reason, the barista doesn't call a freaking name. He calls a name for all the other ones.
Yeah.
But he didn't call a name for that. So our leading lady, Allie, thought that it was hers. But Mason Gooding's character, what was his name? Jay?
Yeah, Jay Simmons.
Jay Simmons. He thought it was his coffee. Turns out, pretty popular order. So he starts immediately flirting with her. He's really feeling it. She's not. She wants nothing to do with him.
Mm-hmm.
But also, when you go in the background story of what's going on here, there is a Hard Eyes killer. And it's basically kind of like, for us, like the Zodiac killer or something.
It's
like,
the opposite.
It's a big serial killer.
He's the opposite of Cupid.
Yeah. He's like a big serial killer, though. Like, he will take everyone out.
If you're fucking. If you are in a relationship.
No, they even said, like, if they're not in a relationship, they'll take you out if you get in the way.
Yeah. But the main crux of it, and the reason it's the hard ice killer and everything, is he sees you out with your girlfriend or something, and you're targeting.
Absolutely.
If I'm by myself eating a chili dog, minding my own business, I should be okay. Unless I'm like, hey, don't kill those.
Please don't tell me that's what you're gonna do on Valentine's.
No,
I'm gonna go on Valentine's Day to be eating a chili cheese dog.
No, I'll clap some cheeks on Valentine's Day, but I might celebrate with a chili dog. And I might be all right. So single dudes and single chicks might be all right as long as they're not, flirting with somebody.
Yeah, they need to not kiss.
Yeah, because that's what these two fell into. Now, the one thing I want to, start with opening out as you described this to me as a rom-com slasher. You also said it was a bootleg Scream. You were very mean to it at first. And
I called it discount Scream.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. And they set out the rom-com feel right away with the coffee scene. Yeah. Right away with the coffee scene of them ordering the same order. Oh, my God, you get the same. And then that's how they meet. And, that's a very...
Too much sugar. Now I use my own straw.
That's a very classic trope. And I don't think that they heavily relied on the rom-com ship for a while, because a lot of scenes within slashers, when there's two characters building like an emotional arc between them and building this kind of, it's nothing that he didn't do with Jenna Ortega in the last Scream. You know what I mean? They had the same type of scenes.
A little too hard.
Well, I know, but there's not a lot of characters in this.
But I'm sure he was meant to be cocky.
This also isn't an ensemble where everybody dies. This is focused on two characters, and they kind of meet people that die along the way.
Yeah.
This isn't so. Jenna Ortega and him had to share a lot of screen time, but the scenes they had felt kind of like this. Yeah. It wasn't like it was.
It wasn't bad.
It didn't feel like The Notebook. It didn't feel like a Ryan Gosling or a Jennifer Lopez rom-com. Yeah. And the chemistry that they had between each other, I thought kind of helped the film.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a big fan of her. Yeah. I thought she did all right, and I thought she wasn't bad. As we always talk about final girls and where they rank and stuff.
I don't think she held her. I think she held her own. I will have to say that.
She was all right.
Not as acting goes, but as far as fighting goes.
Well, the fighting, she was badass.
She had some chutzpah.
Yeah. And
she couldn't speak to save her life.
She was really good with him, though. And the lines, like I said, I kind of criticized the writing throughout a little bit. I didn't love, Monica is a fun character who has some comic relief, and she does add an element, and she's got a natural charisma, that actress too. And those two kind of work well off each other, just like she works well off Mason Gooding. Mm-hmm. The problem is when her and Monica are talking, it feels like some just whatever generic stuff about today you can say about the algorithm and, oh, you look like a before picture. This is all shit I've heard before. It doesn't feel like it's
yeah, but the flair that she put on the you look like a before picture, that was funny.
And I'm saying there's nothing. The actresses did a damn good job at delivering the dialogue. I just thought the dialogue was kind of dripping with unoriginality.
Okay, so you think it was lacking?
It was lacking a little bit. It just didn't feel completely original. It felt like what a 30-year-old dude thinks that 20-year-old people talk like. Okay. When they're hanging out.
Well, I mean, it was all written by dudes, so that's probably why.
And it felt like a little AI to me. It felt like, oh, what would two young girls that are in marketing talk about at a coffee shop? And that's what it felt like it spit out. It didn't really feel like a genuine conversation between two friends. I thought the actresses made it feel like that with how they were acting towards each other. And Monica seemed so warm to her as her friend. And she's like, I'll go down with the ship, bitch.
But you feel the dialogue wasn't there.
Yeah, it kind of their performance helped it, but the writing wasn't always there for me. Now with Mason Gooding, and I think he got all the best lines, and I thought he delivered them the best too. And he's the man in this. And I think this is a picture that just kind of adds to his little legacy that he's building right now as one of the top guys in Hollywood. And I think he's one of those movie stars that
he's someone that Daniel and I really want to meet.
Well, and the future is he can do whatever the fuck he wants. He can do a war movie. He could do a superhero flick. He could do anything.
So good in a war movie.
Yeah, he could do anything, and he's good in this scary movie aspect. He's proved his chops a few times now. He's been one of our underrated favorites in the Scream franchise for the 2 movies he was in it, and he was a really fun
and he was a fighter in this one, guys.
Yeah.
Like, he got knocked down and out a few times, and he kept on getting out.
And it's also good on the director and good on him. But in each of these roles, he does, because he's a big guy, he's not always just running away. He does show his physicality, and I do enjoy that. He was a bit more of a pussy in this one, but he's still, because that's what the character was.
So?
Well, yeah, because he wanted to run away at the end, and she was like, come on, let's do this together. And there was a few times where he's like, let's run. Like, when the fight or flight came in, he was
more of a runner. I guess he was more of a flight.
Yeah, he seemed
more of a fight.
Yeah, he seemed to want to bounce up, which I understand that if somebody's running around killing people, I kind of want to get out of there too. Yeah. I'm not always, playing hero by skillet in my head and fucking like some people.
Yeah.
But he in Scream and in this, there is aspects where he's kind of has to go, and he does go, and he looks badass, and he can kind of show his physicality. He can fight. But like, I love one of the lines in it when she's like, when she left him. And in the woods, and the killer's chasing her and stuff, and he's all pissed off because he's in the cop car.
They thought he was the killer.
Yeah, and they framed him and everything, and he's in the cop car and everything, and he's bitching, and it's one of my favorite scenes in the movie, and it's hilarious, and the way he's and the a great line in there, and when he's bitching at her, she's like, I thought you would be fine. You are big and you have muscles, and he's like, hey, listen, these muscles are for cuddling, not for war or something like that. He was like, these are for fighting, these are for cuddling.
Yeah, and that's what he said. These are for fighting, these are for cuddling.
And it was just hilarious, and he really sold it too. And the way, like, he is a good.
And he was like, you fucking ditched me.
Yes.
She's like, no, I didn't. I got chased by a monster. And he's like, you ditched me.
Yeah. Like, he is slowly coming from one of, like, a guy that's like, oh, he's a charming actor, to somebody that's like, oh, he can kind of carry a film. He's like, he's kind of a bona fide. He's getting towards movie star status to where he can actually carry something, or he can, like, go in an ensemble and kill it. Because he is becoming the man slowly before our very eyes. And he's got the look, he's got the acting chops. He is a bona fide stud. And he shows it in this, when he isn't, like, he's designed to be a main character, but there's other characters that are designed to shine more than him, and I feel like he kind of outshines everybody.
Oh, absolutely.
And Olivia Hunt, I wasn't trying to take too much away from her. I do think she did a good job, and I don't mind her character, but I just think he steals the show in every scene he's in, and a lot of their scenes are together.
Yeah.
So she kind of steals the show from her. But they have great chemistry, and they work well off each other. And that's when it's like, no matter if the writing does get cheesy or whatever they're saying to each other, they believe it, and the audience does too.
Yeah. And the thing is that, like, the Hard Eyes Killer goes after couples. These two aren't a couple.
No.
They only met 14 hours ago.
Yeah.
They just went out to dinner together. That's it. But her ex showed up with this pretty little thing, and he's bragging, and she just all of a sudden kisses Jay, and Jay just goes with it.
And real quick, explain why they're at the dinner in her failed marketing campaign.
They're
hilarious. And that brings her
okay,
boss
so she does marketing.
Yes.
And she pulled out a campaign for Valentine's Day, unaware of the Hard Eyes Killer, basically. And she made it all about couples that died together. Romeo and Juliet, Bonnie and Clyde. I forgot the other one. But, like, 3 different examples.
Yeah.
And it was crazy, honestly. Like, even if I saw that ad and nothing was going on, I would still be like, what the hell?
Yeah, and it reminded me of a scene. I've been watching a show on Apple TV with Seth Rogen. It's called The Studio. Okay. And he's the head of a network studio. And it's hilarious. It's a comedy. And it's about everything going wrong for him. But they have to make a Kool-Aid movie. And like based on Kool-Aid and oh yeah and all that. Now at the time, Martin Scorsese wants to make his last film, and he submits a script for them, and they kind of want to call it Kool-Aid, but it's about the Jim Jones thing and about them drinking the Kool-Aid. So it would completely ruin like doing a Kool-Aid movie if it was like, oh, about a mass murder involving Kool-Aid. And it reminded me of that, to where she's like, there's this mass killing, the serial killer going around killing everybody that's in love, and a Valentines Day killer, and pretty much. And he's killing, it's like, it's all based around romance and death. And then she does a campaign based around romance and death. Yeah, and people die. It's so ironic.
Jay's basically flown in from another office. He's a freelancer.
Yeah.
And they basically bring him in to like help fix the campaign. So, like Daniel was saying, that's why they were at dinner.
Yeah, because he's a whiz with it.
Yeah. Now, she was very mean towards Jay at dinner. She was very blunt.
Yeah, because she wasn't feeling all romancy like he was.
She made it known that it was Valentine's Day. She didn't want to be out.
Mm-hmm.
And she made it known that she wasn't over her ex.
Mm-hmm.
And that she wanted to leave, basically.
Yeah.
So he respected her choice and got up and left. She runs after him. And, like, apologizes and kisses him in the middle of the street and shit. Like, you just said, I don't want to express anything because of the Hard Eyes killer.
Yeah, but then the reason she ran out is because she was so mean that she thought she was going to lose her job.
Oh, yeah.
And that's all this
she
campaign
thought he was
and
gonna
everything
take her job.
is all that mean. And she thought that he might go back and be like, all right, this chick's a bitch. I can't work with her. Get rid of her.
Exactly.
Which is understandable motive for her to run outside. But then in the moment, she looks into those big old Mason Gooding eyes. And she got overwhelmed with the handsomeness, and she kissed the fella. And then their whole night got ruined after that.
Well, not even that. Like, right after that, her ex showed up.
Yeah.
And then they kissed again, and he acted like her boyfriend.
But that's the scene where,
that's actually what got them targeted.
Yeah, well, and that ruins their night. Mm-hmm. Them kissing, like... it
they should have never gotten close. They should have just left.
If they could have kept the animosity, they would have been fine. And the ex seemed like a douchebag, but that was a hilarious conversation. Yeah. And I like how the ex walks in the bill because he's talking about the Hard Eyes killer. And he's like, "Don't get killed." And Mason Gooding's like, "What the fuck is that?" He's like, "What? Who says that to someone?"
Happy V-Day, don't get killed.
Yeah, it's like that's a fucking weird thing to say. And that's when the dialogue kind of shines, is in little moments like that. And the delivery from him. He is hilarious. He's good at being funny, and he's good in these situations. And that's the only thing about these movies that he's in. Scream, just like this one, is it kind of takes away the scary element a bit with how cool and chill he is. Which he does look terrified, don't get me wrong. But he does bring a level of calmness.
Better in this, though.
He does. And the Hard Eyes does come across as badass and cool, and we'll talk about him and his inspirations later. But the Hard Eyes killer itself. But there is some moments where you can be like, oh, my God. But mostly it's just at the gore of the movie. The gore is what, and the kills and stuff make you go, holy shit. But that's about it. There's not a lot of moments where you were like, fucking, this isn't one of those that's going to sit with me for a long time with how scary it was. There were some good brutal kills, and there was some good funny lines and some good acting, and that's
the kills were creme de la creme.
And you end up adding all that up to a fun slasher movie, but not anything that really breaks barriers.
Mm-mm. A year from now, I'll be surprised if people even remember it.
Yeah, and I'd want to watch it again in a couple of years just to get that refresher, because it is a fun, cool movie, but it's not one that's going to make you, it's not an award winner, it's not one that revolutionizes the genre, or it's just a fun starring vehicle for Mason Gooding and Olivia Hunt to kind of do some cool stuff. And Holt? Is it not Hunt? Oh yeah, Holt. Olivia Holt to do some really good stuff, and I think they did, and I think they executed on it well.
Yeah.
But what's your favorite kill? Because I'm going to go for the opening one.
Yeah, but we haven't even finished.
We're not finished.
We're not finished.
We don't have to do the kills only at the finish.
Oh.
It can be a midway thing, too.
Go ahead.
When she gets pressed into the compactor.
Oh, my God.
Because the whole opening scene is kind of a chef's kiss and brilliant. And those two people are annoying, and they want their engagement to look perfect, and the Hard Eyes killer fucks that up. You get an arrow through the guy's head, but then the girl does a classic run, a Drew Barrymore sprint, and he chases her, and they end up in this thing with this, and she ends up in this container, and then she's running away from him. He locks the thing, and it ends up being like a compactor thing, and she gets pressed up like a piece of Spam, and oh my God.
You never climb inside a container when someone is chasing you.
Yeah, it always ends up bad. They always end up closing it, and then, then you're done. That's always how it goes. And that's how it went for. And I like how when it presses, you see the eyeball bulge a little bit, and then it all just squeaks.
The creative imagery and the gore in this was amazing. It was really good.
Yeah.
Very good. My favorite kill would have had to been when, in the beginning as well, when he took up the photographer.
Yeah.
Through the camera. I enjoyed that a lot.
That was a cool scene.
I thought that was really, really cool. Because a lot of people get shot in the eye and stuff. Eye stuff happens. Does it happen through a camera? Not normally.
And there was like 4 eye things in this one.
Yeah. But this one was a little standoutish.
Yeah.
So I liked it.
Yeah, that was crazy. Another one of the scenes I really enjoy is when they are.
Oh, okay. We just got a comment. The compactor is actually to squish grapes because of a winery.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
And the way the blood was trickling out like wine was crazy too, and it was good cinematography.
It makes sense now because there was a spigot.
Yeah, and that's why you can see where the $18 million went. Not only do you got a pretty good cast, but you also got it's a beautiful film. Mm-hmm. It looks, especially for a horror movie, this looks really it's fun to look at.
Yeah.
And it keeps your attention throughout.
Yeah.
And the blood and the gruesome shit, it all is fun eye candy for this.
And I have to give Sony some credit here. Even when they were outside in the dark, you could still see them.
Yeah, that's your biggest thing for if a movie's good or not nowadays. If
not
you can
even
see
that, Daniel. It just annoys me.
Well, I know you bring it up every episode, though. I'm just saying. It kind of is your thing. If
but
you can see it, you like it.
It's seeable.
Yeah.
So, I mean, well, if I can see it, I can watch it.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So, I mean, I will say they did a very good job at shooting it and everything and whatnot. And the kills were just beautifully shot. They were beautifully shot. Even in the drive-through and whatnot, when he kills the couple that are screwing in a van.
Yes.
That's a good one, too.
Oh, yeah, that was fucking hilarious.
You know, I'm going to switch my kill to her.
That was a good one.
To the girl.
Yeah.
The girl that gets, what did she get shoved in her mouth? And the back end of the knife?
Yeah, it was like a sword type deal.
And, he, punctured it so hard that, her face was see-through.
Yeah.
It was wonderful.
Yeah, that was insane to see. Another one of my favorite scenes, though, is how I like how they're in this rom-com-y feel after the dinner and after they go back to her apartment. He has to break through her window and shit, or break through the door to get her in. And he's bleeding. She made him bleed twice already in the movie. And they're hanging out in her room, or in her little thing, and it goes all lovey, and you think it's all sweet, and we're kind of not chatting, but oh, and you're this is the rom-com shit I'm not a huge fan of, and it's yeah, I understand, and then out of nowhere it's oh, he's in the closet, and then he's fucking, and
he was in the closet, he was on the door. It
gets right to the action quick, and it gets right into it. You go from lovey-dovey to holy shit, this got real, and it did it in a way, and Scream and other places don't do it as well, honestly. A lot of horror movies try to do that instant from, I was actually in that moment not thinking that scary shit was about to happen. And when it did happen, it was a little jarring and crazy, and I thought it worked in the movie.
Yeah, they tried that in Scream 4.
Yeah.
But it was too predictable because of the phone call.
Yeah, you know it's going to happen.
So this was, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you didn't. But when it's unpredictable like that, and it's hard to get in some of these, and especially when, like you said, very Scream related, heart-shaped or Hard Eyes Killer, very Jason inspired. There's a lot of inspirations brewing in this, and when you can do something that's unpredictable and something like this, it's really special. Yeah. And I thought that was pretty fucking cool.
Absolutely. I will say I liked this movie a lot more as it progressed.
Yeah.
Especially when they bring into the drive-through.
Mm-hmm.
That has a Valentine's Day event going on. They're oh my God, we just brought a homicidal couple maniac.
Yeah, did you see what we just did? Yeah.
We gotta figure out how to fix this. We gotta do something.
Yeah. They screwed up bad.
And it was just, yeah, it was funny. Honestly, it was comedic.
It was
It's
comedic.
a little too lovey-dovey for me at sometimes, but you know what? It went with the quality of the movie.
It is
And I
Valentine's
feel
Day,
like
for
if it
God's sakes.
exactly, I feel like if it wasn't there, I would have complained about their lack of chemistry.
As far as holiday horror movies, this is better than Thanksgiving.
Yeah, hands down.
So I will give it that. And I didn't mind Thanksgiving, but I thought that this one were and for a Valentine's Day, I like the coal miner. I like the Valentine's Day massacre. We know how I feel in the
Now,
miners.
how would you feel about putting up My Bloody Valentine versus Us? How would you compare it?
Completely different movies. Because My Bloody Valentine has little to no rom-com. There's a few scenes with character building and stuff, but it's very much a traditional slasher, the original and the remake.
Mm-hmm.
And the coal miner, it's more menacing than Hard Eyes. The coal miner is way more menacing, in my opinion, but I do think that Hard Eyes brings something different, and there is a funness. I don't like the big reveal at the end. That's when it got bootleg Scream for me. And that's when it's like, oh, and right when even before you said something about the cop and you called it early, I knew. Just in her eyes and everything, it's like she's a part of this. Her
eyes, her dialogue,
so
she was sketchy.
She was sketchy, and I knew she had something to do with this. So, and the fact that the IT guy was in on it, like there's some, like I loved everything else in the movie besides that. Like the movie was like reaching a 7.6, and it got dropped down a few points because of that. Yeah. So,
unfortunately, the reveal was.
Yeah, it got too squeamish with that. To me, it was doing enough to separate itself from it before that. And then once you got to that, it's like, oh, this seems like and it didn't just seem like a Scream reveal, like one of the best, like a Billy Loomis Stew thing.
Scream 6.
It seemed like a shitty one. Yeah, it seemed like a Scream 6 or Scream 3. It seemed like a bad Scream reveal. And that I will not knock it for. But I do the horror in it and Hard Eyes killing people and fucking people up, I think is where it's at its strongest. And I think it's also at its strongest when they're just letting Mason Gooding and Olivia Holt do their thing and have good chemistry. And the other character, like the boss, is hilarious. She is so funny. And like the way she told her, because she kind of even came across a little layered to where she's not just this traditional asshole that only cares about money. She did kind of believe in the main character. And you could tell she did believe in her. Because she told her at the end, because she's like, you just fired me. She's like, I didn't fire you. You're going to make the best ever campaign. And if you don't, I'm going to fucking kill you. And I thought that was...
I had you for 6 more months.
Yeah. And I liked how that was a little, like, it kind of shows that, like, yeah, she's going to get the most out of her people. And yeah, maybe she's greedy. But also, she kind of believes in this chick. It's like, no, I'm not just going to get rid of you. Fix this fuck up. You embarrass me. Now, like, there was a couple layers to her, which they didn't have to add. So that kind of like helps. And I thought that was cool. And Monica's a fun friend. Like I said, I didn't love the writing of her, but I loved the performance. And I thought she did have some hilarious lines in there. And I thought just her presence was fun. I'm surprised she never really got put in any immediate danger. She was only in the fun parts.
Thought she was going to be like an oh shit girl.
Yeah, there was never really even a scene. Like even at that end, the last credit scene where she she riffs a little bit at the end about taking the picture for them and it calls back to the beginning. I'm like, oh, she's going to get an arrow through the eye. She's going to get her head chopped off. Like in my head, I'm like, she's about to get fucked up. And then it just rolled the credits. Like, oh, that was cute. Like she was never even running away from the killer at any point. She was only in the fun moments in the movie, which was kind of a cool and different twist. Mm-hmm. It's fun when it's like not all the characters go through all the crazy shit.
Yeah.
And not a lot of movies do that. Usually when horror movies, everybody in it is going through the same fucking, oh my God, shit. Mm-hmm. So anything else to add before we give ratings and shit? Or?
I will have to say it was weird having the detective being part of it. But here's the big thing, and me and my aunt both talked about this, and I think me and you talked about this too. If your partner of many years, your police partner, dies tragically in front of you,
yeah,
you're at least gonna yell or scream or yelp or something. So the fact that she didn't do any of that and she didn't have any tears, predictable.
Gave it away.
It gave it away.
And Devin Sewa as Hobbs was funny in his own right, and I did like him trying to play the bad cop and trying to be. And he seemed like
he did a good job.
He did a good job as like the perfect like sleazy cop.
Mm-hmm.
He was a good sleazeball, especially him trying to fuck because that kind of brought a little humanity to her, and maybe she isn't in on it. And that was kind of the only scene when he was kind of forcing himself on her.
Yeah.
But I liked he didn't have a huge role in this, but it was a fun little role.
Yeah, I mean, and he's normally always getting killed. If you watch the 3 seasons of Chucky, he gets killed like 7 or 8 times and comes back as different characters.
And he's great in that too. But I always enjoy when he pops up, and he had a fun little performance in this. Yeah. And a lot of that's I think how I would define this movie.
It was fun.
It was fun. It was a good slasher with a lot of fun little performances, and that's why it's worth watching and like actually paying attention to it. Because you have the boss, you have Monica, you have Hobbs, you have certain characters that bring like a light and a funness to this, and also there's some really gruesome, cool deaths for the horror fans. So and this is a charming Mason Gooding performance where he really puts the film on his back. So all that combined leads that to a 7-1 for me. I think it's a solid movie that I would rewatch. It's not, on the top of my list or anything, or one of the greatest slashers I've ever seen. And it doesn't do anything particularly new, but I think it's a fun installment in horror. And I think it is a fun thing. If they get a second one out of it, cool. If not, I don't care. But I do, for what it is, for the hour and 40-minute ride they took me on, I didn't mind it.
I was going to give it a 7. Straight 7. Because for me, unfortunately, the dialogue took away from it a lot.
Yeah.
Took a lot away from it. And also, he's okay with the rom-com thing. I can't get over it. I can't.
Teach their own.
Exactly. I mean, it reminded me, because of the romantic comedy thing, it reminded me of Warm Bodies. But it wasn't as good.
Well, it's not a zombie flick.
And it's not a zombie flick. It's 2 different things. But you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, and I can see what you're saying. I would just argue that you get a lot of that in a lot of these. Mm-hmm. Where, yes, this kind of, especially because it's Valentine's Day, so they leaned on it a lot, the rom-com stuff. But you see the same thing in Scream. We're about to see the same thing in an hour in Final Destination. Don't tell me that there's not going to be 2 characters that love each other and you're going to have
there's always 2 characters that love each other. It was just a little too lovey-dovey.
I'm with you. I'm just saying that does happen in these sometimes. Yeah. Maybe there was too many of those in here, and I can hear that argument. Yeah. I didn't mind it, but I am with you. Mm-hmm. All right. Everybody, obviously, we're doing the next Final Destination next week while it's fresh on our minds. That's going to be a brand new movie review, so head out to theaters and see that, and then join us next week.
Yep, and if you guys don't get to see it, do not watch it on here.
Yes. So we will see everybody next week, and have a good spooky Sunday, and give them a big fat hootie hoo.
Hey.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Goodbye.